Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age faster or face more health problems than others, even with access to good medical care? In this video, we'll uncover 6 surprising habits that silently steal years from your life. Stay tuned until the end to discover the top life-shortening behavior and how you can make simple changes today for a longer, healthier future. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. No matter how sophisticated or cutting-edge our medical systems become, there's one undeniable truth. They will never be able to fully compensate for the damage caused by self-destructive habits. It's a sobering realization, but one that we cannot ignore. There's a limit to what medical care can achieve, no matter how advanced it is. Doctors can prescribe medication, perform surgeries, and monitor your vitals, but they can't reverse the toll that years of poor lifestyle choices take on your body. Eventually, even the most dedicated medical professionals will reach a point where they cannot do any more to help you if you continue to harm yourself with unhealthy habits. This is why, if you're truly committed to enjoying longevity and vibrant health in your later years, you must not rely solely on doctors, pills, or health products to keep you going. The secret to long-lasting wellness isn't found in a bottle or a hospital, it's found in your daily choices. We often underestimate how much control we have over our health. Changing bad habits can feel overwhelming, but it's one of the most powerful things we can do for ourselves. Every unhealthy choice we make, every night we stay up too late, and every cigarette we smoke chips away at our vitality. It's heartbreaking to think that we could be shortening our lives with actions we can easily change, if only we decided to do so. Medical care can provide a safety net, but it's up to us to ensure we're not constantly falling into it by neglecting our health. By changing our bad habits, we take control, build a solid foundation for our bodies, and protect ourselves from a host of diseases that could strip away the quality and quantity years. But what are these life-shortening habits that so many of us engage in, often without realizing the damage they're causing? It might surprise you to learn what's truly at the top of the list. According to recent studies, staying up late ranks 3rd, which many of us already know isn't great for our health. But what holds the top spot? It's a habit that millions of people struggle to break, a habit that, despite knowing better, many of us cling to for comfort or stress relief. And while we often hear about the dangers of smoking, it's shocking to learn that it only ranks 6th on the list. Smoking, something most of us know is dangerous, is so much more harmful than many people fully grasp. We've all heard the warnings, smoking is bad for you, but do we truly understand the immense harm it causes to our bodies? The statistics are devastating. According to the World Health Organization, about 7 million people die every year due to smoking-related causes. 7 million lives lost, families shattered, futures cut short, all because of a habit that people find hard to let go of. Smoking is a slow, insidious killer. It doesn't just harm the lungs, as many believe. It attacks almost every organ and tissue in the body, creating a ripple effect of damage that accelerates aging and deteriorates the very systems that keep us alive. The harm caused by smoking is staggering. It's not just a casual habit or a minor health risk. It's a force that inevitably speeds up the decline of your body's organs, leaving you vulnerable to illness, disease, and ultimately, a much shorter life. Think about that. Every puff of a cigarette brings you closer to an early death, even if it doesn't feel that way at the moment. The decline is subtle, but it's happening, and over time, the damage accumulates until it's irreversible. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The Ministry of Health published a report in 2012 detailing the health hazards of smoking, and the findings were nothing short of alarming. On average, smokers live 10 years less than non-smokers. Let that sink in. 10 whole years. 10 years of opportunities, 10 years of memories with loved ones, 10 years of life, gone because of a single habit. It's heartbreaking to think that something as preventable as smoking could rob someone of a decade of their life. That's 10 fewer birthdays, 10 fewer holidays, 10 fewer moments of joy and connection with the people who matter most. For many, this statistic hits close to home. How many of us know someone, a friend, a family member who has lost their life too soon because of smoking? It's a reality that too many people face, and it's incredibly painful to watch someone we care about be taken from us by a habit they couldn't break. What makes smoking especially tragic is that the harm is not immediate. Unlike some health issues, which can cause sudden symptoms, smoking quietly deteriorates the body over time. It creeps up on you, and by the time the damage is visible, it's often too late. Lung cancer, heart disease, chronic respiratory issues, these are just a few of the devastating consequences. And yet, despite the well-documented risks, millions of people continue to smoke, perhaps believing that they won't be affected and that the warnings don't apply to them. But the reality is that smoking cuts life short for nearly everyone who engages in it. The emotional toll of losing someone to smoking is profound. It's not just the smoker who suffers, It's their entire circle of loved ones who are left to mourn a life that was cut short. The smoker might think they are only harming themselves, but in truth, their absence leaves a hole in the hearts of those who love them. Imagine the birthdays they'll miss, the milestones they won't be there for, the grandchild they'll never get to meet, all because of a habit that felt impossible to quit. Quitting smoking is incredibly difficult, no one disputes that. But what's more difficult is watching someone lose their life to it. And for those who have struggled to quit and failed, it's important to remember that it's never too late to try again. Every day you don't smoke is a victory for your health, and it could be the difference between living to see your grandchildren grow up or missing out on grub. Smoking is just one of many habits that can shorten life, but it's one of the most insidious because of how addictive it is. Breaking free from it is not just a physical challenge, but an emotional one too. But the reward is a longer, healthier life, and that's worth fighting for. We owe it to ourselves and to those who love us to do everything in our power to change the habits that are quietly stealing time from us. Because in the end, time is the most precious thing we have. In fifth place on the list of life-shortening habits is binge eating, a behavior that many people may not realize is as dangerous as it truly is. Overeating, especially when it spirals into binge eating, can have devastating consequences for your health. Our stomachs are designed with limits, and treating them like garbage disposals by stuffing them full beyond their capacity can lead to serious issues, including gastric bleeding. It's painful to think about the harm we're doing to ourselves when we ignore our body's signals and overindulge in food. Binge eating doesn't just stop at discomfort. For some, it leads to dizziness, nausea, vomiting, and even fainting. Imagine feeling so out of control after a meal that your body shuts down. It's a terrifying thought, but one that many people experience. A remarkable study conducted by American scientists sought to explore the long-term effects of diet on health. They divided 200 monkeys into two groups. One group was allowed to eat as much as they wanted, without any restrictions, while the other group's diet was strictly controlled to about 7 to 8% of their body weight. The results after 10 years were both eye-opening and heartbreaking. Out of the 100 monkeys in the unrestricted group, 50 died, half of them mostly due to obesity-related causes. In contrast, only 12 monkeys from the controlled diet group passed away. This experiment proves something that many of us struggle to accept. Eating more does not mean more energy or better health. Being overweight, despite what some might think, does not equate to being healthy. Indulging excessively in food might feel good at the moment, but it sets the stage for physical deterioration and robs us of precious years of life. This is where we have to face the emotional and mental toll that binge eating takes on our bodies. Food is comforting, it's social, and it's cultural, but when we start using it to fill emotional voids or to numb stress, we enter a dangerous cycle. The desire to indulge, to eat excessively, can become all-consuming, leaving us not only heavier but emotionally drained and disconnected from our bodies. The cost of this habit is not just the inches around our waists, but years off our lives. Is that momentary comfort worth the price of losing out on so many future moments? In fourth place on the list is the lack of exercise, a habit that, when combined with binge eating, forms a deadly duo. Obesity is often the result of two primary factors: long-term overeating and a lack of physical activity. It's a cycle that many of us fall into without realizing it. We eat more than we should and move less than we need to. And the result is inevitable. Our bodies can't burn off the excess calories, and they accumulate in the form of fat. Obesity doesn't just change the way we look. It's a precursor to a host of serious health problems. It's closely linked to metabolic syndrome, a condition that includes dangerous issues like hypertension, high cholesterol, and diabetes. The toll that lack of exercise takes on our health is far-reaching, and it doesn't stop there. When we fail to move our bodies regularly, we experience slowed blood circulation, reduced metabolism, and decreased immunity, leaving us vulnerable to illnesses and reducing our lifespan. We all know that exercise is good for us, but in today's world, where many people work desk jobs and lead sedentary lifestyles, it's easier than ever to avoid physical activity. Modern conveniences and an abundance of material wealth have led to a lifestyle where we don't need to move much to get through our day. But this lack of movement is silently eroding our health. The human body is designed to move, to be active, and when we don't use it as intended, it starts to break down. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, and energy levels plummet. It's heartbreaking to see how many people sacrifice their health for the comfort of an activity, not realizing that every day they skip exercise, they are chipping away at their longevity. Exercise doesn't have to be extreme, but it must be consistent. Even moderate physical activity can have profound effects on your health. Regular movement improves circulation, strengthens muscles, supports cardiovascular health, and boosts your immune system. Exercise isn't just about looking good, it's about feeling good and preserving your life. For those who've been neglecting their bodies, it's not too late to start. Every step, every stretch, every bit of movement you add to your day is an investment in a longer, healthier life. But what holds us back? Why do so many people resist exercise despite knowing its benefits? Often it's because we've allowed the comfort of inactivity to take over. It's easier to sit, to stay still, to convince ourselves we don't have the time. But the time we think we're saving by not exercising will eventually be lost when we face the health consequences of inactivity, and that is truly heartbreaking. For those who find it difficult to break these habits, It's important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight, but it must happen. You are in control of your life, your body, and your future, and you deserve a future full of energy, health, and happiness. Taking care of your body through mindful eating and regular exercise isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. Third place goes to the all-too-common habit of staying up late and working from dawn to dusk, a pattern that many of us have unconsciously adopted over the years as we try to keep up with the endless demands of modern life. This exhausting routine has become second nature for countless people, ingrained over generations as we adapt to the ever-changing environment around us. Whether it's working long hours to make ends meet or indulging in late-night entertainment to escape the pressures of the day, this habit has become deeply woven into the fabric of our lives. It's not just something we choose to do, it's something we've been conditioned to do. And while we may tell ourselves that staying up late is harmless, that we're simply squeezing out more time to get things done, the reality is far more damaging than we realize. In today's world, with a myriad of distractions, whether it's the constant pinging of our phones, endless streaming services, or the persistent stress of daily responsibilities, many people have fallen into the trap of staying up late for extended periods, night after night. It's almost as if we've convinced ourselves that we don't need rest, that we can keep going without consequence. But the truth is, our bodies operate on a biological clock, a natural rhythm that governs everything from our energy levels to the function of our vital organs. This internal clock is not just a convenience, it's a necessity for our well-being. Every cell in our body relies on this clock to maintain balance and harmony. And when we ignore it by staying up late or constantly pushing ourselves beyond our limits, we're disrupting this delicate system. When we continuously mess with our biological clock, we're not just making ourselves tired or irritable. The effects run much deeper. Over time, the body's organs and tissues lose their ability to function smoothly together, leading to imbalances that can affect everything from our digestion to our immune response. It's like pulling on one thread in a finely woven tapestry. The entire structure starts to unravel, and the consequences of this disruption aren't just temporary. Staying up late consistently is one of the major factors that lead to long-term health problems. Whether it's increased stress levels, poor mental health, or even chronic conditions like heart disease, the damage caused by ignoring our body's need for rest is profound. What makes it even more heartbreaking is that many people don't see the harm until it's too late. The effects of staying up late build slowly, like a ticking time bomb that we don't notice until we're faced with the fallout. The toll it takes on our bodies becomes evident over the years. We experience hormonal imbalances that can affect everything from our mood to our weight. Our immunity weakens, leaving us susceptible to illnesses, and our metabolism slows down, leading to weight gain and a general feeling of sluggishness. It's like we're gradually trading our vitality for a few extra hours of productivity or leisure, only to pay the price later with our health. And let's not forget the emotional toll that sleep deprivation takes. How many of us feel perpetually exhausted, unable to enjoy the moments that matter, because we're always running on empty? Our relationships suffer because we're irritable. Our work suffers because we can't focus. And, worst of all, our sense of well-being takes a nosedive. It's as if we're living in a constant state of survival, always pushing through, always exhausted, without realizing how much we're losing in the process. It's deeply unsettling to think that something as simple as going to bed on time could change everything, yet so many of us continue to sacrifice our sleep, telling ourselves we'll catch up later, not realizing that the damage is already done. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Second place in the list of harmful habits, and equally as damaging, is prolonged sitting. While it might not seem like a big deal at first glance, the wisdom of ancient texts, like the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon, reminds us of the dangers. Prolonged sitting injures the flesh. This piece of advice, written thousands of years ago, has never been more relevant than in today's sedentary world. Despite all the technological advancements and conveniences we have, our modern lifestyle has made us more inactive than ever. We sit for hours on end, whether it's at work, in front of the TV, or scrolling through our phones without realizing how much harm we're doing to our bodies. Sure, sitting may feel comfortable in the moment. After all, who doesn't want to relax after a long day of work? But prolonged sitting is a silent killer. When we sit for extended periods, our blood circulation slows down dramatically. Muscles that are supposed to be active and engaged throughout the day become relaxed and weak, leading to muscle degeneration over time. This lack of movement affects more than just our muscles. It has a ripple effect throughout the entire body. Our organs, which rely on proper blood flow to function optimally, are deprived of the oxygen and nutrients they need. Over time, this can lead to a range of health problems, from heart disease to diabetes to digestive issues. The irony is that many of us don't even realize how harmful prolonged sitting is until it's too late. We think we're just relaxing or being productive when, in fact, we're slowly sabotaging our health. And while it's easy to ignore the effects in the short term, the long-term consequences are hard to escape. Sitting for hours on end can lead to weight gain, poor posture, back pain, and even a shortened lifespan. It's as if we're slowly imprisoning ourselves within our bodies, allowing illness to creep in unnoticed while we stay glued to our screens or desks. What's worse is that our society encourages this sedentary lifestyle. We're constantly told to work harder, sit longer, and be more productive, all while ignoring the fact that our bodies were designed to move. And when we don't move, we're not just harming our physical health, we're harming our mental and emotional well-being too. Prolonged inactivity leads to feelings of stagnation, lethargy, and even depression. It's like we're trapped in a vicious cycle, where inactivity leads to poor health, which leads to even more inactivity, and the cycle continues. The truth is that both staying up late and prolonged sitting are preventable habits that we have the power to change, but it requires a conscious effort to break free from the patterns that have become so deeply ingrained in our lives. We have to make a choice to prioritize our health, to listen to our bodies, and to recognize the long-term consequences of our actions, because in the end, no amount of productivity, entertainment, or comfort is worth sacrificing our health and well-being. Many diseases in today's society are deeply rooted in the sedentary lifestyle that has become so common. According to surveys, a staggering 40% of people in China currently sit for at least 8 hours a day, and the consequences of prolonged sitting are severe. This seemingly harmless habit can lead to a host of health problems, including spinal diseases, obesity, constipation, leg edema, and even brain damage. When we sit for long hours without moving, our bodies suffer in silence. Blood flow slows down, muscles weaken, and our metabolism grinds to a halt. Over time, this lack of movement can manifest in chronic health issues that drastically reduce our quality of life. It's disheartening to realize how many of us unknowingly put ourselves at risk each day by staying glued to our desks or screens, oblivious to the damage being done. But as alarming as the physical consequences of prolonged sitting are, there's something even more destructive that claims the #1 spot: a pessimistic mindset. Our mental state not only shapes our success or failure in life, but directly impacts our health in profound ways. The mind and body are intricately connected, and when our thoughts are clouded by negativity, they reflect on our physical well-being. The power of the mind over the body cannot be underestimated. Psychological factors have become one of the most overlooked yet inevitable culprits of disease. It's astonishing how much influence our thoughts and emotions have on our overall health. When we are constantly anxious, depressed, or pessimistic, our bodies bear the brunt of this emotional burden. As Shua, a doctoral student at the Institute of Psychology of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, wisely puts it, human psychology and physiology are like the software and hardware of a computer. Both are indispensable. The true essence of health lies in achieving harmony between the two. When our minds are in a state of turmoil, the rest of our body inevitably follows suit. People who live in a constant state of worry, sadness, or hopelessness age more rapidly, and their overall health deteriorates. It's painful to witness how emotional struggles can lead to self-destructive behaviors, further amplifying the risks. When we're in a bad mood, we often lack the self-discipline to take care of ourselves. We may indulge in unhealthy habits like overeating, drinking too much alcohol, or turning to gambling as a way to escape our feelings. It's a vicious cycle. Emotional distress leads to poor decisions, which in turn leads to worsening health. And before we know it, we're trapped in a downward spiral. People in these emotional states are more prone to irregular lifestyles, which can increase the risk of diseases, shorten their lifespan, and even cause sudden illnesses that could lead to premature death. It's heartbreaking to think that a state of mind could have such a profound impact on a person's life. Yet the evidence is all around us. So, what have you learned so far from today's discussion? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below with one thing you've learned and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. Whether it's being more mindful of your posture, breaking free from negative thoughts, or setting healthier boundaries. Every small change counts toward a healthier and more balanced life. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Together, we can continue growing and supporting each other on this journey toward better health and well-being.